Hello there ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here. It's time for a new video, and as you can see from the title, it is me detailing and talking about my favourite album of this year, just gone. Now, I'm not going to get into the habit of doing top 10 video games, top 10 movies of the year and stuff like that. I just want to keep it to music. It's one of my main passions. I find it easy to talk about, and I also like recommending people new music and having it recommended to me. So that's that. But this is going to be the penultimate video on the channel this year. The only one to come is my Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to the subscribers video, which I'll be doing a few days before Christmas, where I detail what's happened on the channel prior, year just gone, if you will, and also 2018, what you can expect to see from me. But yeah, let's get into the meat and gravy of this video. Cigarettes After Sex. I found these guys from Mr. Steven Wilson in the back there, the lead vocalist and guitarist of Porcupine Tree. He's a bit of a music boffin. He knows all sorts of stuff musically from a lot of different genres, and Cigarettes After Sex were one of the many artists that he had on there. But the thing that stood out and made me listen to them over the other artists that I didn't know on the list was the fact that I'd heard the name mentioned. I can't remember where exactly, but I think it's a few guys on YouTube. I can't remember what the name of the channel is, but they review music, and I saw that video there. I didn't watch it, didn't listen to it, but because I'd already seen the name, it's such a peculiar and interesting band name, and Wilson was a big fan. I listened to it. I listened to the first track on the album, K, the actual letter K, with a full stop after it, and I was hooked right in. I really enjoyed it, and I listened to the whole album, and I won't say that I loved it all at first listen, but I liked it at first listen. And a few weaker tracks, but there were a lot of tracks that I remember, like the melody and just humming the few days after I'd listened to it. And a week or two later, I was fully addicted to the album. I purchased it, and yeah, when they come up on shuffle now, or if I decide to listen to it, I still like these tracks each and every time. But the thing that I've got to tell you guys about this album is that it is quite repetitive and monotonous. That sounds like a terrible thing to say, but these songs do sound very similar to each other. But that isn't a bad thing. Maybe monotonous isn't the right word. I could probably word it better. But I'm sure the band members would understand what I'm talking about. It's hypnotic. It's quite samey, but I think it's quite refreshing these days as well, because so many bands and artists seem to think that they have to change the score up, and they have to make an album that's completely different from the last and something that's left of field. I think there's that pressure on them these days, and I don't like that. But I'm not asking artists and bands to be AC/DC and make the same album 30 times in a row. But sometimes if you've got a good thing, just stay with it and make 3 or 4 albums of similar material that you can differentiate from each other at the end of the day. But this band, ladies and gentlemen, these guys from El Paso, Texas, they formed in 2008. They also released an EP, I think in 2012, and a few singles prior to this, but this is their debut LP this year. They are, I guess you'd say, using the genres on Wikipedia, dream pop, slowcore, shoegaze, things like that. The Wikipedia page kind of compares them to Mazzy Star and Red House Painters. I'm sure there are aspects of Mazzy Star and Red House Painters in Cigarettes After Sex music, more musically than anything, because lyrically early Red House Painters was so downtrodden it was insane, even though I love early Red House Painters. But Mazzy Star is a great comparison, because the fact of the matter is, Mr. Greg Gonzalez, the lead singer, on first listen, I didn't know if he was a man or a woman, and it actually says here, elemental, hazy and romantic, but with a noir edge underneath Gonzalez's androgynous voice. And that is a great term, because I checked the Wikipedia page and I was like, I'm sure this is a woman, but it's not. And he's got quite a high-pitched voice and lovely vocals though. But yes, he is all man, ladies and gentlemen. Got one hell of a beard, let me tell you that. But they are also compared to, oh well, not compared to, the band themselves say the Cowboy Junkies album, the Trinity Session, Julie Cruz, and the, I think I'm pronouncing this right, the Cocteau Twins as influences. I only know the Cocteau Twins there, I don't know Julie Cruz and the Cowboy Junkies. But yeah, I find myself comparing them to stuff like Slowdive. I love Slowdive, they're more quieter stuff. And all these songs are about relationships, they're all about love and lust and sex, funnily enough. Not many tracks change themselves up. The lyrics on this album, some of them may seem a little bit juvenile. There's one song in particular, what's it called? Let me just have a look. Young and Dumb. Some of the lyrics on that nearly made my eyes pop out of my head. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But overall, it's really solid. And the 3 tracks that I'm going to give you guys in the drop down menu here: Sweet, Opera House, and John Wayne. You know, it's just this, I wouldn't say a contradiction exactly, but they're all very easy to listen to, but they've all got this swirling darkness and moodiness, but they're easy to listen to, and it's incredibly atmospheric. And you'll have one song that's about Greg Gonzalez singing of needing someone and all this about love, and the next song will be pure full out filth and be about sex, but it all kind of intertwines and just feels right. It's an intriguing album. It's certainly not for everyone, but if you do like the genres that I've detailed so far and the artists that I've compared them to, then give them a listen, because the guitars and the melody, it's really strong, and the production is awesome. You can hear everything that's going on, but you know, Greg Gonzalez vocals fit the bill just right. It's just so good. I really love this album. I do feel like they might have a bit of a hard time in the future, because I think if they make a similar album, people, like I said before, will kick off and say it's too similar. But I kind of hope they just tweak the formula a little bit. Evolution, not revolution, I say. But yeah, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I do highly recommend checking out this album. It's so good. Cigarettes After Sex. And that's it for this year on the channel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Much appreciated. For the few people that have watched, I know I don't get many views on YouTube these days, but I've always made YouTube videos, and I will always continue to make them, because it's just a little bit of a hobby and something to do when I'm bored. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you sometime soon. Bye bye.